Hello, good morning, and welcome to the 30th of November. I'm going to do some Christmassy stuff today, so I thought why not record now, and then I'll be a day ahead, and then I might be able to get stuff edited in time for you online on the internet. I'm going to make some shortbread, Christmas shortbread in one memento. Basically, it's a layer of like Christmas spiced shortbread, mincemeat, more Christmas spiced shortbread, bake it, and then you sprinkle it with sugar that is spiced. So if you are unaware, this is a jar of mincemeat from like last year, baby. Best before February 2024. I've used half of it. It's still good. It's got a bit grainy, probably because it started to split. I think the suet started to kind of disintegrate. But once it's baked, it'll be fine. I mean, it will. I think it does still come out a bit crunchy when it's old. But in all fairness, I opened it a little while ago. I made mince pies a few weeks back because I was making strudel. And I had some leftover pastry. But yeah, so mincemeat is basically lots of dried fruit, sultanas, apple puree. We 2 jobs ago we used to grate apple into our mincemeat, mainly because the family that owned the business were apple farmers, so we used to do it for that reason. And also it makes it go a little bit further as well. We used to chat with booze in it. Apple pulp, mixed peel, orange, peel, isn't it? Currants. Only 3% currants, really. I didn't realise. Vegetable suet. Oh, it's made with palm oil. Didn't realise. And spices. And it's all mixed into a nice, lovely gloop. When in doubt, use a gloop. Essentially, it's just dried fruit and mixed spice. It is very traditional. It's very British. A friend told me that an American friend was staying with her once and said after they come out of the bakery, for the love of God, why do you people keep putting dried fruit in stuff? It's because I suppose historically dried fruit is essentially preserved fruit. It's a way of preserving something. If you've got a lot of it, it's something that will get you through the winter. And winter's quite long in the old Britain. I mean, put mixed spice and everything. I think traditionally, like, if you go back to like 17th, 16th century, your mince pies would have actually had mince meat in them. It was a mixture of meat and spices and dried fruit. And then just over the years, the meat has come out and the sugar's gone in, as these things do change. Also, the jar is lots of fun to do this with. I'm having the best time ever. If you're wondering what I'm doing, it's great. I love it. I love mince pies. A lot of people in my life at the moment do not like dried fruit, and I find this slightly unnerving. I'm going to have some... No, I can't because I haven't got any. But I can have some of this. I'm going to have some orange juice. With all the bits. Yeah. Yeah. This one was on offer. That's why I got it. Posh. Posh one. Posh people. Yeah, I mean, you can get different varieties of mincemeat. Last year I did get a gingerbread flavoured one, which was very nice. I think I've had black forest as well in the past. I've had a cherry and almond mincemeat. That was nice, but I didn't... I think, in all fairness, my favourite top for mince pie is frangipane. So I like getting the almond that way. Oh, I can add a little more, I think. I don't like these new lids. I don't understand this. Like, do people throw away their lids? I don't understand this new obsession with making lids attached to drinks bottles. I don't get it. I'm going to eat this before I start, as we're Christmassy. It's a gingerbread pineapple. I made it last week. It's still good. I opened the curtains. It's 10:30. I need to leave in like 2 hours to go to my mum and dad. And that's like the... I want to leave at 11. That ain't happening, is it? I'm not sure what to talk about. I'm trying to eat my own hair. I might put the kettle on. If it's Vlogmas, I went shopping. I was hoping to get like a Christmas version of this because I love this. Nope. So ghosties every day for life. As it's nearly Christmas, nearly December, I can use my new mug. It's Gingerbread House, and it says Home Sweet Home, and it's Gingerbread House. Gingerbread's my most favourite thing in the world, and these are my new favourite mugs. My ghosty one, it's the same make. I love the lip and the size. Not massive, I mean it's huge. Not unwieldy, but it's also not small. It's not even medium. So, I'm gonna link the recipe in the thingy down below. It's a good food recipe, tweaked slightly, only ever so slightly. So in here I've got my sugar. I don't really have golden caster sugar anymore, so I've done like 75 grams of caster and 25 grams, give or take, of soft brown, just to give it that caramelised-ness that you get with golden caster sugar. But when you've got light brown sugar, dark brown sugar, muscovado sugar, icing sugar, demerara sugar, caster sugar, you really need golden caster sugar as well. So yeah, I got that and my vanilla, cinnamon and cloves. I'm just going to whiz this all up just nice and fluffy. And then I will fold it in, well not fold, but just gently beat in this here, which is the flour mixed with ground almonds. Now the recipe calls for ground rice, which every time I went to the supermarket I forgot where to find it, and then you can only get it in bigger supermarkets or smaller supermarkets. And then I just started substituting it for ground almonds, and that worked really well. So I recommend that if you don't want, you know, another ingredient, because also I only ever used ground rice for this recipe. I didn't use it for anything else. Whereas ground almonds I use quite a bit. So yeah, there we go. Let's get whizzing. Fluffy, 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 so light and fluffy in a shortbread world. Let's get the utensil of choice. I mean, it could be fluffier. We're not making cake, so that's a good point. If you've ever seen Bernard and the Genie, you would know what I wanted to say. It is a of a good point. That's still quite thick. Oh, my dog's barking. fluff. I can't remember. I only make this once a year. Maybe twice a year. Only in December. I only make it in December. Oh, it's November, but I'm going to my mum and dad's to do Christmas stuff, so today counts. I believe we are light and fluffy. If this was at work, I'd do it all as one, because that's what we do. So we also put vegetable shortening in it. Life is good. Save that spoon for mincemeat. In goes your dry ingredients, if you like. I mean, mostly are all dry ingredients, apart from the butter and vanilla. That goes in. That goes down. And you make sure this is all nice and secure, and then you go to start. Right, let's take our tin and some grease proof. Death by cling film. Not a good way to go. I've done something to my foot and it really hurts. Right, parchment. That's technical though. Right, you wanna. This is where my professionalism is going to be shattered in your eyes now. I'm so it's so weird baking at home sometimes because I'm not used to it just giving up like that. The stuff we use at work is much stiffer. And stick. Oh no, to be fair, I just greased it. Well, that's why it would stick. I ain't greasing this. Oh, short. I don't have enough spray that does it for me. Okay. Not greasy tin. You can if you want. I don't. I'm lazy. You're not going back out there, you beast. Take your dough. Now, at the start of my baking career, I used to eyeball this because you only want half to start with. And then when I decided that I wanted to be a proper baker, I started weighing it out. I've come full circle. I also don't really give a damn anymore. To be fair, if I was at work, I probably would measure it. I do when I do this, when I like halve brownies and put stuff in the middle of brownies. But I'm at home. I'm trying to keep it. Oh god, my foot, my ankle. Jeez, I've got to drive with this. Ow! Quite a way as well. Right, this is quite, as shortbread dough goes, it's quite sticky. It doesn't really follow the 3-2-1 method, doesn't it? Thinking about it. I suppose it's sort of not. It's equal butter to flour, isn't it? So it is, I suppose, a more luxurious shortbread, which is why it's quite sticky and quite wet. So I'm going to show you a trick for dealing with the top half of it. So about half. I'd probably, if you're going to do eyeball it, if you've got one half that is slightly bigger than the other, I'd probably say save that for the top. If I was you. That way around. Yeah. Just because it's got to go over the top. And then you just do that. You can roll this bit out. But if you want to do it properly, like a professional, but some of us aren't professional. Alright, some of us are professionals and some of us can't be bothered because this works. Eventually, you're going to have to do this step anyway, so why worry about it? That's what I say. You know, this is, you're going to roll it out to right at this point, say, and then start getting in with your hands. So you might just get in with your hands from the get-go, but I am a hands-on kind of person. I think that is a thing amongst bakers. We will just get our hands in. Pastry chefs use spoons. Bakers use hands and scrapers. And I think that I might chuck a little bit extra in because I think they're a bit thin on the old corners. So you can sort of, you know, nick a bit out of your big half. And I can nick another little bit. Don't keep nicking little bits because lots of little bits add up to a big bit. Just use your nous. Oh, my brother keeps texting me, right? Like, if I reply within 3 to 5 working days, you're laughing. But he keeps texting me like I'm going to reply instantly. It's not going to happen, mate. Right, we leave a 1 centimetre border. I probably put too much in because I don't weigh it. Life's too short. If you have moved, I apologise. I just had to delete some stuff to make room for this video. I've not weighed this. I don't know how much I've used. I'm just putting what my boss would affectionately call a good amount. Whenever you ask any question to any baker, you're like, oh, how much cheese do I put in cheese straws or cheese scones? A good amount. What does that mean? You're like, I'm doing a 3 kilo mix. Well, how much cheese do I put in that? Oh, a good amount. I'm doing a 2 kilo mix. How much cheese do I put in that? Oh, a good amount. What does it mean? Right, that I would call a good amount. But 1 man, see, if you like something, like I like mincemeat, so I've probably over-egged this. There's no eggs in it, by the way. That's just something I like to say. I've over-egged my pudding. Right, yeah. I mean, I've probably left more than a 1 centimetre thingy, but I've also overfilled it, so. Jeff, why mincemeat jar lid? Oh, I mean, it's not a terrible way to go. Might be slow. Right, go in front of the Halloween sprinkles. Okay, now the trick of the tin. I'm using this because I don't like to waste things. So I'm cheap. So I've got a silicone mat. You can use greaseproof paper. Put your dough on. Scrape out your bowl. That's it. I'm going to give up everything and become a bakery teacher. I'm acing this, teaching you stuff. I'm like the best. I'm not. I'm terrible. But that's fine because I'm okay with that. It's not my job. Oh God, my foot is agony. What have I done? So you kind of want to make, because if your end game is a square, you want to start off with a square. If your end game is a rectangle, start off with a rectangle. If your end game's a circle, start off with a ball. So, second silicone mat over the top. Alright. This way, it won't get stuck to. I probably should have floured it, but you know, I like to live life on the edge. And I've put the flour away. it's just a way of going, whoop, there you go. That looks nice. Just get them corners out. I'm pretty sure this tin is like as wide as the silicone mats from when I think that's kind of my thing that marker that I look for. Yeah, so it's just getting them corners kind of out now. And you can kind of try and bring your sides in if you wish. Get it a bit more square. It is always corners that are kind of the difficult bit. So you can kind of try and shape it as best as you can. This is nothing anyone's taught me like how to do. I've just kind of manipulated it and gone, oh, that sort of works. I'll do that. That's annoying me. That's so thin. Right, will that suffice? Not. There's my edges. Okay, that's fine. I'm giving away all my tips and tricks now. I quite often use the sort of indents of tins for this sort of thing, just to give you an idea of where you are. Because I mean, sometimes you can't see them on the edges, but if you sort of use the indents, then you know exactly where the tin ends, don't you? Probably there now, are we? Yeah, that'll do. So then, peely weely, and then lay. And it's a case of just squishing down the edges. Try and stretch out the corner if you have to. Try and smooth that bit over if you can. Oh, we seem to have a little hole. Oh, what's going on? We have a little hole over here. So we shall proceed regardless, as is my wont. Just, oh, there's a bit of butter that I haven't mixed in very well there. We'll just ignore that. Friends, don't discuss friends' butter that hasn't mixed in correctly, okay? Just let that be a lesson to you. Just want to seal the edges down, preferably with a Scottish accent because it's funny. No offence to Scottish friends out there, no offence Kirsty, but I do like to say, or my boss's wife for that matter, I do like to say things in a funny accent, and doon being one of them. Then, at work I would be saying docky docky right now because you'd use the docker to dock, but we're going to use the fork to prick, so pricky pricky. Oh, you children you are. So you've got a little mincemeat parcel here. Right, that goes in the oven for about 25, half an hour, about that. Chuck her in. Job's a good one. Okay, so we're out of the oven now. We are gilding around the edges. Risen. And in this little bowl here, I have a couple of tablespoons of sugar, quarter of a teaspoon, thereabouts, eyeballed it, of cinnamon, and a good healthy pinch of ground cloves, because I have ground clove issues. I love it so very much. Right, I live in a damp house, so we are going to do this using my little sieve, a little dusty, because my sugar is just quite clumpy because I live in quite a damp house. So we're just gonna dusty, try and make sure that spice is distributed amongst the sugarinos. Oh, it smells absolutely divine. Oh, it's good to get this on while hot because it sticks better, for starters. And oh, that's gone over the top of the sieve. And also the spice smell is absolutely delicious. I will probably take this to my parents in the tin. thought about getting ready whilst it baked, but to be honest, it's better if I get ready afterwards, so it's got time to cool a little before I travel with it. I mean, I think this probably defeats the object in using granulated sugar, to be honest. But it was quite lumpy when I first mixed it out. Right, when in doubt, give up. That's my motto. It's not, but that's what I like to say to people. Nothing wasted. Good. Right, there we go. I feel like it needs more sugar, but it also, that smells so good. It smells just like Christmas. Yes. So I make this particular thing. I used to make it to go around. I used to make it to take into work when I was at a department store, and I'd take it in for my colleagues at Christmas. I would make this and gingerbread instead of giving out Christmas cards, because I work with 40 people, and you know what? I didn't need to give them a Christmas card because a good 35 people, I suppose. I didn't need to give them a Christmas card because I saw them every single day. So I used to bake and take this in, or if we did like a Christmas, sometimes people would raise money for charity and we'd all bring in stuff, and basically everything was 50p per slice, or you know, whatever we did, sweet or savoury, and it was just 50p per thing, and then we would donate the money to charity. And also, instead of giving out Christmas cards, a lot of us would we would have a pot in the middle of the staff room, and just like the money you spent on cards, put it in here, and then people would buy like a jar of celebrations or something, because basically anything left on a staff room table was fair game, and we loved food, so happy days. Oh, that meant to be like that. And yeah, so I used to make it for that, and then I used to make it for my mum, because I used to go around and help her put up her decorations, but I don't really do that anymore, which is sad. That was always fun, going back home to do that. But to be fair, my dad's now there, so neither, because I was mostly in charge of things that involved climbing on furniture to put up, because I was old enough and ugly enough to do that for my mum, so she didn't have to, because she was old enough to. It gets a bit dangerous climbing on furniture, and the threat of falling off and breaking a hip. Joke, she's not that old. I just like to wonder up about it. So yeah, we used to do that. This used to be what I used to make to take round to do that. And as I'm going there today to do their advent calendar, so I do that every year for them now instead. Yeah. I had to grab everything actually. Grab the bag and that. Grab the bag that has the advent calendar in, which I made. I knitted 24 little socks. And then I used to sneak into their house whilst my mum was at work and my dad worked nights. So I'd sneak in when my mum was at work and my dad was asleep. And I would set it up like a little elf. And the amount of times I rocked up and mum would be like, oh yeah, I booked this week as annual leave. Like, why did you book the last week of November as annual leave when you know what I'm going to be doing? And not to tell me. The amount of time, also the amount of times I rocked up and I'd forgotten to bring their key with me, because I don't have their key on my key ring. Oh, and then I'd rock up and think, oh god, I've forgotten their key, and then I'll see my mum's car on the drive and think, oh, thank god for that, because she's there. A scoundrel! I've got this sexy new fluffy jumper. I love it. I'm going to wear it every day for the rest of my life now. So yeah, that is the shortbread. It's really simple. It's really easy. And to be honest, oh Jesus, when did I start? About an hour ago, wasn't it? It was 9:45. Is it 10:30? 9:45? It's now 10 to 12. So there you go. My foot is so painful. You have to remove it. Oh, it's the foot that is the accelerator as well. At least if it was clutch and brake, that's intermittent use, isn't it? Hello. Hello, young man. Death by boots! Death by boots! All that remains. In all fairness, I cut it too big. Little baker's tip between me and you. Plug in your mixer, because otherwise that happens, it don't work. So top tip.